EP714 Brain Candy Podcast.
Ooh, I
Hello.
like that number. Hello, friends.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Susie. How are you?
Good, thank you. And you?
Oh, I am doing well, thank you. We're so formal.
We really are.
I was going to say,
classy.
I went to go pick up my brother the other day, and he gave me his address, and I was like, ooh, that is a good address. And he's like, yeah, every single time I give you my address, you say that.
You just
He's
love
like,
it.
you and like 3 other people on the planet have an affinity for numbers like that. And I honestly wouldn't move certain places if the address wasn't one that felt like it looked nice.
I think that's real limiting.
Is it, though?
Yeah. By definition, is.
Yes, correct. Or maybe I just like, I feel like if you were somebody who like is, I feel like Chinese numerology, like that's a thing that people practice. And like maybe they wouldn't move into certain houses because somebody's got to be with me on this one.
No, yeah, a lot of people are with you. There is no doubt about that. A lot of people are with you about astrology. A lot of people are with Peg about, Trump. Doesn't mean it's like a good thing.
Okay, fine.
But, I understand the urge.
Yeah.
Because you have the affliction.
Yeah.
/ blessing.
Blessing. Anyways, we're not talking about any of that today. How are you doing? Besides,
Great. Real great. We're finishing out the school year and getting psyched.
I feel sad about that, but I think other people feel happy about that.
Why do you feel sad?
I don't know. I always didn't like when the school year came to an end. I loved it.
Oh, wait. You loved what?
Well, going to school. Like, I love being in school. Like, I wasn't so
I
much...
can't speak for you, but I think that there are people who have more stability when they're in school.
This makes sense.
And that the summer and its sort of freewheeling
totally
nature can maybe unmoor some children. They could feel some rudderless.
I felt the same way when I was in grad school and even in college. It was like, as soon as summer came, I'm like, oh God, I don't know when I'm supposed to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner now because there's no structure to my day. And yeah, that's totally it. I feel so much better when there's some. That's why I have adult chore chart and a calendar and that whole thing. And do all that.
You know what works for you. But for most of us, it is so fun and exciting. And, Link can't wait. And it's going to be really fun.
And to school, man. It's so fun.
It is so fun.
Yeah. What is not fun, however, is the concert that I went to. I meant to complain about this on the last podcast, but then it skipped my mind probably because I was complaining about other things. Not the opera. The opera was really nice. The opera was lovely. It was, I will say this, hella racist.
The opera?
Yes. We saw...
How do you know? Isn't it in another tongue?
Well, they have the translations, but that wasn't it. It was more of the appropriation of Asian culture used. So it was a Puccini opera called something that starts with a T. I can't remember the name of it. But it's an Italian writer, an Italian composer who's writing an opera based in China, and it's a lot of stereotypes that they there was a I don't know, PSA or whatever, a little disclaimer, that's the word, before they started the show that said, why are we picking a play or an opera that uses such obviously.
What's the answer?
They didn't answer it. They said it has cultural significance, and then they left it open-ended. Why would we pick this? And then just didn't answer why they would. And I was like, are they going to give us the answer as to why? But that wasn't even the show I'm talking about that I had complaints about. That was the one that was fine. The one I had not complaints. I shouldn't say complaints. I felt like I went for a musical journey that I did not know I was signing up for. And
A musical journey.
Yeah. So
Anytime anybody used that phrase, you know you're in trouble.
We saw the band M83, which they have a couple songs that were big hits. They have some hits from a while back, and then some new ones that are like big TikTok, like popular on TikTok or whatever.
That is a red flag right there.
It felt like the kind of music, and people are going to be like, Sarah, it's amazing. Oh, it's the kind of, maybe it's like one of those, it's a music lover's music.
That's not true.
Where
I know that because you already told me about it. That is not true. I'm a music lover. If you don't, because Sarah claimed that she wasn't entirely sure when to applaud because she couldn't tell when the song was over. That is not music. That's noise.
What Eli had, he said it was called atmospheric jam. What even is that? It felt kind of like jazz. You know how like jazz is very
jazz is great.
It's like improv music, and it's kind of all over the place, and you couldn't like find a central like theme to it all. Like I don't know how you could dance to this music. I thought it was perfect for white people. I was looking around and like the guy in front of me, oh my God, I felt so bad for his girlfriend because I know that he's the kind of guy who does one of these where he like sits you in the car and you're like sitting in the parking lot and you have to like sit there and he's like, listen to this one part. Just listen. And you're like, oh God, I want to be anywhere else but listening to this one part of this one song. And you're like, yeah, this is great. I'm sure people like love it. And it was a cool experience. And visually it was really fun. I'll like post some of like the visuals from this.
Can you do me a favor though?
Yes. What?
Well, can you describe the audience?
Yeah. All, it's like let me think.
I'll tell you what they were. They were all white people.
All of them.
Right. And they were all a very specific age range.
Mm-hmm. Except for one oddball guy who was way older and looked like he was like...
And it was like the dad of the bassist or whatever.
And
did Eli concede any sort of like... Did he admit regret? Like, okay.
No, I mean... No, because I know he enjoys it. I know he there was a moment where I had to ask him.
I think I got to say it's because he's half deaf.
That's what I thought. I said, Eli, can I just ask, is this like pleasurable to you? I was very specific in asking because I didn't want to ask like, are you enjoying this? Because it's a ride. They even did this like at the end of the songs, like so it would play and it would get really like crazy and intense and really overstimulating, and then that would go away and it would be like a moment of just quiet, and that felt so good. I was like, is this not what great. The purpose of this is? So it's like and I was like, am I just sitting through this to get to that good thing? Is that a thing? Like, is this what...
Okay, that can be art, but that ain't music. And I hate to like
it was
be
art.
Like that.
I think it was art.
That's fine.
It felt like very like they should perform at Burning Man. I felt like I was at Burning Man with more clothes on.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So that was
You're such a nice person to go to stuff to support your...
Well, I'm always a good... And all Eli's siblings were all going to go, and then they like canceled the last minute. But
yeah, because they like listened beforehand and were like, "Fuck this."
Maybe they were
I
like
have a
stoked. They were
migraine.
like, "How was it? I bet it was really good." Like, I don't know. It felt not for me, but maybe somebody could show me some of their stuff, and I would like.
Remember when I was like, Sarah, you need to go to a concert of someone you like. Who's coming to town? And you go, Lil Wayne is like $500 a ticket. I'm like, Lil Wayne, that's the best. That was your like top of mind answer.
Yeah, well, because I tried. I tried
So
Erykah
cute.
Badu and Lil Wayne, and I was like, forget this. I'm like, so I got to find people who are more middle,
Yeah.
like haven't made it big yet, small venues, and that kind of stuff. But
oh, God, that's awful. I'll tell you something I do like, and that is, well, both of us, plant life.
Absolutely.
We love trees. We love plants. We love nature.
Love it.
And there is a company you need to hear about. It's called fastgrowingtrees.com. You know those companies that kind of like really started to get popular over the last few years where they like send you plants and they're nice and everything, but they're a little bit pricey in my experience.
Yes.
In fact, I got one from a company and the plant was dead. So I was like, hey, can I get a refund? And they refunded me for the plant.
No.
And it was like $2. And then because they argued that the thing that it came in was like the expensive part.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. So anyway, so I haven't had the best luck. And so that's why I'm really excited about fastgrowingtrees.com because they have so much stuff. And we, Adam and I, are just like this kind of people. We just ordered an apple tree.
Oh.
Because we had one die on our property and we were just sad about it. And we're just going to like accept that fact. And then we were like, wait, we should replace it.
Yeah, replace the tree.
So we can have apples. And they can do it by zone. So like where you live. Oh,
that's cool. They know what kind of plants are going to go in the place that you live.
What will thrive.
Yes.
And what will be not great. And it came in just a few days in great condition, just really easy. And then it gives you instructions like, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Here's how to handle it. With Fast Growing Trees, 30-day alive and thrive guarantee. So this isn't going to be like my experience with that old company where they were like, oh, whoopsie. And like Sarah is a plant lady.
Oh, yeah.
She can find all kinds of plants for her house. You can get customized recommendations, and
I need
they
this
have
because it's a big
experts.
difference changing from California environment to Colorado. It's different plants up here, so I need a little.
Well, and I bet you the elevation is
totally
affects everything.
Yeah, it's super dry. I need the right kind of plants for up here.
Sarah was asking for advice on some herbs that she's growing. I bet you their plant experts could even help you with that.
I bet
because
they could. Yeah.
They have people that will help you. Join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Tree customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/braincandy now to get 15% off your entire order. Get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/braincandy. All right.
Okay. What other? That is like not even a real story that I have to talk to you about. This was in the news a while back. They say this is a mystery solved. A lot of my stories today are all like mysteries because you really got me scratching my noggin with that whole fucking cow's tongue. Thing. And then your sister was like,
yes, there's a follow-up. The follow-up was I told Sarah how my sister was like, yeah, I watched a 7-part docuseries about the cows losing their tongues to question mark. And I said, okay, well, what is the answer? And she said, aliens.
I mean.
Yeah. And that, I mean, because what else could it be? It's not a prank.
Right.
And it's all over the country. It's not just one situation.
So 2 other mysteries and it is our job on the Brain Candy podcast to find the stories, collect the stories, report the stories, sometimes correct them on things we got wrong, but bring them. And then because we bring so many stories, sometimes we can like see what, or it begs the question,
like
what the heck is going on here?
Yes.
So 2 things came up in the news within the last couple weeks where I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Mm-hmm.
So recently, researchers in, where were they? Sandia. I have no idea where Sandia is, but the Sandia National Laboratories, somewhere north, they were doing research on sound and on the sound that takes place like in the region of the Earth's atmosphere that's about 31 miles up. It's the stratosphere, really, and it's an area of the sky where it's relatively calm. We don't have a lot of storms. There's no turbulence. There's no commercial air traffic up there. And so if you put a microphone up there, you can listen to the sounds of the earth, and you can hear more of the sounds that are out there because you're not getting interference from like commercial jets and all that kind of stuff. So they send up a microphone that studies or like records different ranges of like more than just what the human ear can hear.
I'm just laughing because, like, you know how you said that the concert you went to was like atmospheric jams or something?
Oh my
like, what
God.
if they captured that?
I didn't even mean for these two things to be connected, but that is totally true.
Because, like, what do you mean atmospheric?
Yeah, it's probably like these researchers and like what they do on the weekend. And these guys seemed like they would be like the Norwegian type. I think they're like a French band or something. But like, you know, definitely European.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
Right. Got it.
So they send up this machine that like is recording this sound, and they do it with a solar powered balloon. Didn't know this. You can make solar powered balloons very easily with materials that you can find at the local hardware store. All you need is, they said that they use giant plastic bags with some charcoal dust on the inside, and they use painter's plastic from the hardware store, shipping tape, and this charcoal powder that they get at the pyrotechnic supply store. And when the sun shines on the dark balloon, the air inside heats up and it becomes buoyant, and that's how you can make a solar powered balloon that will go up to 70,000 feet.
Okay.
Just with stuff.
Good to know.
Yeah, and it needs to be like the size of a basketball court to like really get going.
What does?
The balloon.
Well, I think that you buried the lead there. What are you saying?
Well, that you can make it yourself, but it needs to be really freaking big in order to make it.
That's a huge asterisk.
Well, look, it looks really cool.
Nobody is thinking of that as a balloon. Oh, God. It's like a hot air balloon.
Yeah, these are the same ones
I thought it meant like a birthday party one.
No, they got to like put this microphone up in space. It's got to go really high, and it's got to be like tough. And this is the things that often get shot down by the,
I'll say,
government agencies. They're like, what the heck is that? Shoot it down. So they go up to...
A basketball court-sized balloon is highly suspicious.
And it's like all shiny because it's got that like carbon or whatever it is, or charcoal on the inside. So it's like a weird like shiny color. It definitely looks like could be aliens. Who knows? But they put the microphone up there, and they have recorded these like infrasound signals that occur a few times an hour, and they cannot determine the source of it at all.
Okay, what do they sound like?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
A very low. It's a low frequency.
Noise.
It's at 20 hertz, so it's below the range that the human ear can hear.
Ooh,
but there are these
aliens again. Spaceships.
I mean, like if they're okay. We talked about this like a long time ago, but there's a story that when Christopher Columbus's ships arrived.
I love this story.
Right? I
think about it all the time.
It's a real like
several times a week. I think about it.
Okay,
no lie.
Right, because it makes you think. So what's going on? So it was said that the Native Americans could not recognize or see the ships because they didn't have any frame of reference for ships like that. Like they couldn't imagine it, and because they couldn't imagine it, it wasn't even in their realm of possibilities, so they were blind to them. Like they can't even see them. And it wasn't until somebody noticed ripples in the water and started staring out at the water, asking what's making these ripples.
Yeah.
That the ships then
sounds
appear.
Crazy, like at first blush, because you think, if you think of vision as just sort of like a fact, then you think, what do you mean? How could they not see something that was there? But vision is not just a fact. It is a process.
Yes.
That happens in your brain, not your eyeball. And your
information.
Brain, yeah. Your brain is taking whatever your eye collects and then deciding what you're looking at.
Right. And we know...
It's like why optical illusions exist.
Absolutely. And why a sports team, when a ref... two teams that have different... want different outcomes can look at the same play and see two different things happen because that's how they wanted it to happen versus how the other team wanted it to happen or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we cannot trust our eyes.
Yeah, because they say seeing is believing. That isn't exactly right.
Right. So if we
Yeah.
just take that concept
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and apply that here, what we have is a situation where we're hearing something, but we don't know, we're not seeing nothing. So
Do you think it's this is the ripples?
kind of.
Is that in the metaphor? Okay, I see.
I do. And then the other, so then there was another strange occurrence that happened on the 13th of May. And this was in Denmark, an island off of Denmark, where 60 people contacted the Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland and reported tremors, reported shaking. And they also reported their ears popping. And so they looked into it.
Who does that? If my ears pop, the last thing I'm doing is calling some hotline.
But, okay, so that's what you also have to consider. That this is like, if 60 people called in to be like, what the fuck is going on?
Right,
Think of all the
right.
people who are like me and Susie and all you listeners there who are like, I'm not fucking calling.
That was
I'm
weird.
like,
I'm busy though.
Right. I'm going to be like, oh, I wonder, I'm going to go to Twitter or whatever.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like when there's an earthquake and you're like, did I feel an earthquake? Let me go to Twitter.
Right. I'm not calling the geological. Plus, who has their phone number? I don't think that's the same as 411 or 811. Which
Right.
by the way, I got follow up. 811 is the number to check to see if you're allowed to dig in a place.
Yeah.
People wrote me and were like, that's a real thing. You got to check. Don't dig without calling 811 to see if you have
but
any
it's
power
not
lines underneath.
national.
I think it is.
Oh, it is national?
Yeah.
Oh. So they have every
It just connects you to
area?
the local one.
Oh,
Just
okay,
like
okay.
411 or 911 doesn't connect you to the police or the 911 operator in another state.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Great.
cleared that one up.
Good to know.
So these residents, they described this deep rumbling and shaking and a change in pressure. And it was recorded as a magnitude of 2.3. And at first, it was assumed that this was caused by earthquakes, but seismologists have looked into it, and it was not caused by earthquakes. The cause of this is unknown. There are a few theories that say that it could have been from acoustic pressure waves from an unknown source. So we have acoustic pressure waves from an unknown source that are strong enough to cause what feel like 2.3 magnitude earthquakes and show up on a scale as 2.3 magnitude earthquakes, make 60 residents call and be like, what the fuck is going on in Denmark or wherever? And then we got recordings of funky noises that we can't explain and we have no source of coming from up high. Cows are getting their tongues taken out.
Okay, so
Our pets' heads are falling off.
right. So, never not funny.
Right.
Okay.
Pets' heads are falling off.
What I wanted to ask you about the cow thing though,
Okay.
because I thought you made a really good point about why they would be interested in that particular organ and how
Oh, because we're looking at how somebody
buttholes
right.
and
Right.
food or mouths
Yes.
are important
Yes.
investigative areas of the human body. But why cows though? Because if you were an alien, what do you think
Right.
makes them think cows are like where it's at instead of people?
Well,
Because I was like, maybe the Hindus are right. And like, you know how they're like, those
gotta
guys are
worship some
sacred.
cows.
Yeah.
Maybe it's so. I would imagine that
Because they are cooperative.
it has something to do with like them being outside all the time. Where do cows sleep? I need to know more about like because cows seem
You mean like, do they go to the barn at night or something?
yeah, like people sleep under shelters. Like if they need to like beam you up. Or however the hell, maybe they need
so
to
you're
have
saying
like
maybe they're
direct.
sleeping out in the pasture.
Yeah. And so
they're
it's just
hanging.
like, you know, and if people were all hanging out in pastures sleeping, then maybe
Maybe it would have been
because
them.
like people do disappear all the time in like national parks, hiking trips, those kind of things. I don't know. Maybe they're just like getting their tongues
I think that's
cut out.
separate.
Yeah,
No. We would find their bodies eventually. Yeah. We're not finding human beings with
It's
tongueless.
only cows.
Yeah. And not horses, not sheep, which are also hanging out in the fields.
That's very strange.
Yeah. And like, what do they have that we don't?
Well, maybe
Besides
it would
no
also
shelter.
give you information because we also eat cows. I don't know. It's fun to think of, like, what would an alien species find
Who
important?
they think is in charge.
Yeah, what would they think of?
Who's running this
If
show?
you ask me, it's cats and dogs, because anybody who's making us pick up their shit and put it in little bags and dispose of it, they're running the show.
Yeah. You said it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Lincoln loves this TikTok where somebody said, or a meme or something, where like you pick up a dog shit and then they think like, wow, you feed me and pick up my shit like you're a god. And then cats are like, oh, you pick up my shit and feed me, I'm a god.
Right.
That's sort of like the difference between cats and dogs. But that's a good point though about like cats are running around and all sorts of animals are out without shelter. But they saw something in cows that seemed
I feel
important.
like access is the thing here.
Okay. Because they don't run away like most animals.
And there's got to be something
So
about
stupid,
maybe
those guys.
maybe it's right. They don't run, can't go downstairs.
They're just like mooing and doing nothing else.
And there's I think about the space around. Like maybe there are things that we don't even know, like in order for whatever technology is needed to transport cow to said ship, you have to have like, okay, for example, I have one of those little robot vacuums and that guy needs 6 feet in either direction to park himself in his little dock. So maybe the ship needs like, I don't know, couple yards in either direction of clear area in order to do his spaceshipy job, and you can't really do that.
Maybe the spaceships run on methane, which is in cow poop. And they like picked up the poop, and then they were like, "Wait a minute! Look at these guys. Let's get their tongues on the go."
Do we have photos of this?
Well, I was annoyed that they didn't include any. I'm sure there
need
are.
To see that. I need to see what that.
They probably don't want to put it in the New York Times.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah,
I
not
wanna see 'em
there,
too.
but I just want to see what this cut.
We should ask
looks
my
like.
sister.
She did
because
see all 7 episodes.
I bet you in a 7-part docuseries, there's some pictures
Yeah.
like all like X-eyed and tongueless cows.
That's a really funny visual.
It is.
Oh, I love
like,
that. That
I can't even
became
imagine. Because the cow tongue is it's so big.
It is, and tasty.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
Well, Sarah would know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a joke, but that is it.
No, because the show, like they make you on the challenge
right.
eat a lot of like cow
weird
tongue,
stuff, cow brain,
balls.
right? Yeah, never pick the brains. Always pick the balls. I always say that. Never ever.
That is
pick
such
the
a
brains.
good tip.
Yeah,
so relatable.
I think there was something I said like a couple weeks ago where I was like, I don't know if you guys have had this problem, but it had something to do with me being on reality television. It was like, no, not a lot of people can relate to that.
I'm surprised that aliens don't want to, instead of cow tongues, have a look at my incredible luscious mane that's growing thanks to Nutrafol.
Yeah, do they want to investigate that? That's really like a mystery. Well, actually, mystery solved.
Mystery solved because Nutrafol is clinically proven to help with growing healthy hair. Targets the 5 root causes of thinning. So maybe you have get it. Yes. Stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism. Those are like the key things. And then they have 3 unique formulas that help women get the right one for whatever ails them. And I think it's so troublesome when you're among the people who experience this for me, I think this sounds dramatic, but it's actually true that it was life-changing for me whenever this happened. I've noticed, like, I was just talking about this, how I don't take pictures. I don't put any pictures on social because, like, whether you, the viewer, would notice or not, I feel so ashamed of how I look. And so I know how it feels for when you experience that. And to have something that can help you grow that hair back is, like, very empowering. And, you know, I understand. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering our promo code BRAINCANDY. Will save you $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. There you go.
Okay, yeah. I think about moms and, like, the stress of, like, just everything. The book club book we're reading talks a lot about this in a very honest way. And, like,
women go through so much just, like, physically.
Yes. And your hair is such a big part of that. Like, that on top of everything else, like, just help one thing get better is take a little bit of the stress off. Okay. Another mystery. This was like a funny mystery that they say is solved, but I don't believe it.
Okay, I love that.
So, in New Jersey, there was a small town that's near a wooded area where residents found about 500 pounds
I love this one.
Pasta.
It's my favorite story.
Susie, the mystery
is solved.
No, it's not. No,
yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say.
No, I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say what was claimed by, like, NPR and other outlets, that, like, the neighbors were like, oh, this guy was just cleaning out his pantry.
I don't buy that.
I know. And I didn't either. So I wanted to figure it out.
Did you?
Because I was like, yeah, I feel like I did.
Okay. Because here's where, so the neighbors were like, oh, this was just somebody who was cleaning out their parents.
Okay, wait, maybe I don't believe.
I don't buy it. So they were saying, like, this was just like a man. He was a military veteran. I don't know why that, like, mattered in the story, but it did. I was like, why include that? Like,
big deal.
So okay.
So what?
Thank you for your service again.
But, like, but also, why are you dumping pasta, sir?
He said, like, oh, it was like he was cleaning up his parents' home. They had recently passed away. The house was for sale. They were trying to get rid of it. And that what the real problem is that the city doesn't have like bulk, like, big item trash pickup, and so the residents are, like, forced, like, he didn't want to, like, pay for that, so he just dumped it in the backwoods.
And then so it's like somebody came upon this pile of, like, Fusilli, like, elbow mac.
But it was like 15, what they described as 15 wheelbarrows full of pasta.
Okay, that is a lot.
Significant amount. Do you have another theory? Did you feel?
Well, I felt the same way when NPR, who is my trusted news source, ran an article with the title "Solved." I was like, NPR, this is not like you.
Not solved.
You're usually very measured, and this feels hyperbolic and sort of, like, clickbaity. And in the article, they were like, oh, the neighbors said, don't worry, it's just this guy cleaning out the pantry. And I thought, that is an unacceptable explanation.
Right.
So then I looked at some other articles. Part of what made me upset was, if you see the pictures, it clearly looks cooked.
Thank you. That is my issue. And the other problem, where I'm like, none of this explains it, it's SpaghettiOs. That requires a can opener. I'm going to show you. I didn't know there
were SpaghettiOs. I saw nothing about SpaghettiOs.
I'll show you a photo that I have.
Wait, you're just going by, like, visual evidence, not the articles. I should have looked closer at the pictures.
I zoomed in Because I was
Okay.
like, I got to see.
Sarah's doing the real work here.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. Okay, I think I texted to myself because I needed to. Can I like share my screen with you? Is that like a thing on here? I don't even know how this works.
Probably not.
Probably not. But let me send this to you. I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay.
Sending it
yeah,
to
the
Susie.
article I saw said nothing
no.
of SpaghettiOs. It said 500 pounds of ziti, spaghetti, and elbow-shaped pasta. So you're trying to tell me there was sauce involved?
Yeah, I look at this one. I mean, and like this is straight up SpaghettiOs. You cannot confuse this for anything else. Come on,
Sarah
Susie.
is. Oh wait, what if? Look at it again.
Okay.
What if?
Okay.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but I think that's the elbow mac. Because look, I don't think there's a full circle.
Susie.
Look, for real.
Oh,
I'm seeing elbow mac. I'm seeing elbow
Okay,
mac.
upon close.
Yeah, but I totally
Do
see
you
why
see
you
how
thought
that could be? I was like, this is not a solved mystery. See, I only zoomed into like 2 times. Susie zoomed into 8 times, and then everything is fine now.
Sarah's like prime suspect was Chef Boyardee.
It sure was.
Mine is al dente. That's who I think did it. Okay.
Whoever it is, he's an imposter.
I see why you thought that.
Okay.
Okay. So
Woo,
fine,
I have to calm down. So,
but regardless of the shape and whatever, it doesn't. This isn't the hard.
open and shut case.
No, it is not.
No.
And it is not the hard. Just sort of like I got to get rid of all this pasta, and you just dump it. Okay. So I was like, NPR, I'm sorry, you just can't accept the neighbors
Right.
being like, oh, don't worry. So then
Credible
I saw
sources?
that
I don't think so.
the reason why, number one, the reason why it looked cooked was because there had been rain and it was wet. And then it was all goopy and weird. But then that still is insufficient because there is a difference between wet pasta and cooked pasta. But there is video of him dumping it. That's when I knew, okay, this is a weirdo who...
That was such a
and
fun
then-
roller coaster to go on.
I know. But they should have led with that,
Really?
though.
They're like, we have video footage of
Just
the man
be like,
dumping.
don't worry, this guy
I mean,
caught on tape. I want to see that CCTV video. You know what I mean?
Are we supposed to like go light on him because he's a military veteran? We're like, oh, is
That's
that
what the neighbors were doing.
That's what it
They're
feels
like, we
like.
don't
It's like,
wanna-
well, you know, this
Yeah,
feels
they
like
said
we
they
should
don't want
be
to
mad at the
re-traumatize
man.
him. I still want to know. Let's say we accept the video. We accept the rain theory about why it looks cooked. Who buys that much pasta?
Thank you. And also, why not in boxes? It feels like it would be easier to just drive to your local grocery store or whatever and do a little like dumping in the bins.
This must have been hoarders, like couponers.
Yeah.
Okay.
They must like. Could you imagine?
It was. I love mysteries like this, though.
Me too.
This is way better than like Making a Murderer or whatever they call those. Like,
yeah,
Netflix.
Just give me the mystery of the pasta and of all places for it to be, it's like New Jersey, which to me like seems extra funny because it's like.
Yeah, it's like Sophia Petrillo.
Yeah, like, and then I think about do you ever see the movie Patch Adams? It was so good.
Yeah,
the old there's an old woman in there who like has her like a dying wish of swimming in a pool of noodles, and I was like, we really missed an opportunity to have like a bathtub full of spaghetti that could have been fun. You could have charged people like $2 for a dip.
right. This guy
Like,
could have made a lot of
I don't
people
know.
happy.
Right, I feel
But
like
instead
he's just dumping pasta in the woods. And is there
and then
a fine
blaming
for
like
that?
his military service.
Right. Like what?
Oh,
I don't know.
I have PTSD, sir.
Sir, you
This
cannot
could have been put to better
dispose
use.
of so much fusilli.
Can you
What did
believe
you say,
also? I said fusilli, but it was ziti, spaghetti, and elbow mac. Can you believe, by the way, that Patch Adams is a fraud? The real Patch
Wait,
Adams.
what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Patch Adams,
What do you
here's
mean?
some old gossip.
Oh, my
Patch
God.
Adams was a con man. He was getting all that money for these hospitals that he never built. Yeah. He's still alive, too.
Like, he was just going around with his red nose.
He still is. He's like, oh, it's still coming. Like, he's still hanging on to it. Yeah. Yeah. He was raising money, claiming, like, we're going to build the best hospital ever. It's going to be amazing for patients. They're not going to have to pay a dime. And then he never built it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Shocking.
Okay.
You know what else is shocking is how well I can see now that I have freaking spectacles from Pear Eyewear.
I saw your picture of your, like, something you posted. You had your cute little glasses on.
No,
we
we're
had
in
a
our
little meeting.
meetings.
Yes, we're in our business meeting because we're like fancy schmancy business people.
Yeah, I try to be real sophisticated in our meetings.
Yep.
Yeah, most days I have to, when I'm not recording, I wear my spectacles because I am blind as a bat, evidently. Yeah. And thanks to Pear Eyewear, I'm looking adorable when I wear them.
And swapping out those frames, super easy, super quick. You want to go from glasses to sunglasses? Boop.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, it's great. Pear Eyewear, so it's online. You can do the old digital try-on where you can see what you look good in just on your computer or whatever. And they have a gazillion styles. Like you can pick like the base frame.
For sure.
And then you can get a million different colors that snap right on and you can change them out each day. And it's really affordable. So they have the budget-friendly frames, then the magnetic top styles, and then they start at just $60. And you can just upload your prescription. So it's
Easy
like,
breezy.
it couldn't be easier. Yeah. And then you could get like lightweight or the premium plus and like, all the different options depending on what you want
I like
need.
the blue light.
Yes,
Neutralizer.
blockers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That made a big difference when I started wearing those on a regular basis. Like my eyes felt
even
better.
if you don't have a prescription, people should be getting blue light blocking
Staring at the
specs
screen, yeah.
because we're all just like ruining our eyeballs. Aliens are going to study those someday and be like, what happened?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. Express yourself wherever summer takes you with Pear Eyewear. Go to paireyewear.com/braincandy for 15% off your first pair. That's Pear, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com/braincandy.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you brought up the pasta mystery. I was hoping we would talk about that.
Yeah.
And I love that you thought it was SpaghettiOs. That's because it totally looks like it.
That I really, I was tricked.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, because
and you know what?
Whatever. Yeah.
I felt the same way you did, which is what made me, this is what we should really be looking at. What made me jump to conclusions and say, like, nope, that there's no way, made you do a little more research and actually find the answer. But we both felt the same after NPR's failure to actually provide a clear and acceptable argument for what happened or explanation for what happened. Because we're both like, what?
I think that they must have thought, like, this is just a funny story, like, not serious. But they don't do that because anything can be serious. What if the aliens put that there?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is like a mystery episode. There's so many mysteries unsolved.
Yeah.
And
but so then when you sort of see that where it's like, wait, that doesn't add up, then you question everything.
And then when I saw how many articles also said solved, it made me go, you're all too quick to jump on the solved train. I feel like this isn't solved.
Prove it.
But maybe it is. I still just think like, and the other thing is like, if they're hoarding that much pasta, wouldn't it be safe to assume they were hoarding other things as well? And where are those? Sure. Why just that dumped?
I wonder if he'll get fined or something. He should.
I think he should. I definitely do. And I think there maybe was like the idea that animals would come eat it. Is that?
Do you think it was 300 to 500 pounds like dry or after it was wet?
Good question. Wet.
Because that's a lot of boxes of pasta.
I want to see I'm going to have to see the video now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that they didn't put it online because the neighbors are all protecting this weirdo.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to re-traumatize him. I do, because someone's got to clean up that pasta
Right.
mess.
I'm traumatized by the amount of food waste.
In Sarah's words, I think it's rude.
I do.
You know, like, it's like, okay,
Rude.
yeah, you're going through some stuff, but why should we have to clean up your pasta
this
mess?
is like, I get upset at people who don't put their grocery carts back. This is like, you got to put your
This is way worse.
Way worse. Yeah. And this is like another little add-on, but I was thinking a lot last week about what you said about the recycle, reduce, reuse. And I've been seeing a lot of articles come up about recycling and about trash and about, I don't know, maybe it was the pasta stuff. Maybe it was, but like a lot of things talking about like, I can't remember what town it was, but there was some town that claimed that they were recycling all of their products and they'd just been burning them for, yeah.
That is unforgivable.
Yeah, like it's cheaper. I was reading an article on
Well, there is a lot of problems with that.
A big problem with that. How like the cost of recycling, how we can't send things off to other countries anymore. They're like refusing it. Obviously, nobody wants our trash. And so the cost of recycling things is greater than the cost of incinerating it. And there are such loosey-goosey regulations on carbon emissions in some places that it's cheaper and easier for them to just burn it all and incinerate it. So I was thinking a lot about that what you said about repair was the other one.
Yeah.
And the other word that I just read an article on was refuse. That we have to
like the free tote bags and stuff.
Yeah,
you could say, "I'm good. I have enough
free
tote bags."
Stuff, even the free stuff that sounds awesome in the moment. Like when Eli and I were up skiing this year on the mountain, there was a company that was doing a like a giveaway where you like do a beanbag toss to win like hand warmers, and they're reusable hand warmers that you like put in a pot and melt down, and then you can like get heat up again, blah blah blah. That fucking thing sat in the back of our car, never got used one time, and ended up going to the Goodwill. And I was like, I should have said, I can't believe I waited in line to play that stupid fucking game. I can't believe this is what I won.
Yes.
And I can't believe that now it's going in.
Because you could play the game, but you just don't take the prize if you really want to play it. And like another way that I've heard recently is that a lot of couples are not doing like favors at their wedding. And it's like, don't. Because nobody wants them.
Right.
Nobody would even notice if you don't have one. And number one, you save a ton of money by not buying them. And you help the planet.
Yeah.
Nobody wants your dumb favor.
No.
Promise.
We don't need to commemorate this special day of yours. Like,
yeah, half of us don't even want to go to your wedding. Okay? So get over it.
Yeah. I want to go to all of the weddings just so.
I do love a reception. I just don't want to go to the wedding.
Yeah, the reception's more fun.
Sometimes they're real long. Catholics, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah. So much standing.
Ugh, up and down. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I have friends who got married and they're having an East Coast party and a West Coast party. And they just eloped and like got married themselves. And that's the way to do it. And
Yeah, it
like
really
that.
is.
Yep. Well, those are all the fun stories I have for you today.
Okay.
Let me think. Do
I loved
have
it.
anything?
I loved every minute of it.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Oh, I wanted
Can't
to say.
even read what. Oh, that was from last week. I wrote Private Parts rated PG. That must be when I was talking about Weird Al and the movie. Is it like a PG version of Private Parts was what I was going to ask you.
Well,
that was from
Sarah,
other things. What?
This kind of like is a perfect segue to what I was going to say, which is that like if you, listener, like me, believed Sarah when she said jury duty is family friendly, let me tell you, like I apparently come from a family where we don't talk about cum and masturbation with our children.
Oh, did they talk about
Sarah, this is, you cannot take family friendly reviews from Sarah, or maybe people without kids. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
What were you thinking?
What did they talk? When did they talk about
it's like
that?
Tons of sex content. And drugs, but like, okay.
I almost don't remember this.
Right. Because it didn't offend you. Because you weren't sitting there with a 10-year-old.
Oh,
You're
no!
Like, oh. No. No.
Well,
no, because crisis was averted because Gretchen, my sister, said, Sarah was so right. This is so funny. I love it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch it with Link and Adam. And she goes, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, that's better. Good. Thank God. Crisis averted. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Okay.
And she sent me, like, you can go online and look, and they have her family websites for this type of thing. And it was like, don't do it. It's like, wow, that just didn't even register for you.
No, didn't even register.
There's probably like all these brainiacs who are like, wow, Sarah had a really open family.
Yeah.
Which is also true.
A lot of things don't register. They grew up in the film industry in the 80s, guys.
Yeah, you were just like masturbating.
Lucky if people had clothes on.
My God.
Yeah.
Sarah like grew up in like a Hollywood commune.
Yeah, might as well be like that.
Art society.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I'm like, a little cum. Who cares?
Oh my God. I don't even think I learned that word until like my 20s. I swear. That is like, that's a doozy.
Yeah, that is. I apologize to all the parents out there.
It's not that he isn't exposed to stuff like that. Just like, I don't
You don't want to be
there
right. Right.
when he hears these things.
Right.
Personally.
Absolutely. I totally get it.
So
Apologies.
Sarah's movie reviews should be, fact checked.
Yes, adults only. The end.
Adults only.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Here's what I concluded about the wind down.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Basically, anybody that's like, yeah, I don't need the wind down, you can just tune out as soon as we start it.
Right.
It's real simple. You just push stop.
You'd be like, okay, they're done now. But then you might have to sit through it because we might say something else hilarious, and then it'll
and we usually do add on to stuff. But if you enjoy them, a lot of people listen over a couple of days, so they found it helpful to like recall things.
Yeah.
And whatever. So
here's
if you
what
don't
we
love
know.
a wind down, get the heck out of here.
It was
right now, though, not the whole time.
Right. Just leave. Bye. It was fun seeing you. Okay. For the rest of you still listening, pasta, mystery solved. Balloons. You can make them at the store, but you're going to need a lot of material. Mystery sounds in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the
mystery
part.
Earthquakes? Question mark. The truth is out there. Scene.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing about aliens too, because I think generally it's more of a consensus that like there's probably something other than human
Oh
or
my
earthly
God,
life, right?
that's so crazy. Yeah, but so not.
Like for
Right.
I think most people are sort of like, yeah, there's probably something. Like the universe is vast and growing and whatever.
Huge. Oh my God.
But I always want to know, like, because I'm sure there's more devout people who acknowledge that now, and I want to know, like, if you're Christian, like, did Jesus die for them too, or like,
Good
is it
question.
just earthlings, or
They have like another
like,
Jesus?
yeah, like who does that extend to?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
That's
think he
a really
visited
good
their
question.
planet and died also, or
These are very
like
important
I'd love to know
questions.
like what they think may have happened, because that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because religion is so specific
Heliocentric
to-
or
Yes, exactly. And so it's cool to be like thinking about how might that transcend
yes.
your faithfulness, or maybe it would even add to it, or maybe it would completely dismantle it. I would love to know that.
Oh my God, I want to know that too.
Right?
Interesting.
Just some food for thought for
Yeah.
the faithful among us.
Yeah. Oh, and on that
We also,
note,
on that note, why do I have balls versus brain?
oh,
Wait, what
balls!
did you say
don't
about
don't.
that?
I said don't eat the
eating
brains. Eat the balls.
I love these notes.
It
balls
sounds
versus brains.
right. Oh, I
'Cause
didn't even
the
talk
texture?
about that. Oh, I have so many. I have so many things. We'll save it for next time. I'll have to save it for next time. I just am remembering, some other things that I fun things to talk.
More to come. More to come. To be continued. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.